I don't think the addition of modern structures, except in some parts of the North Gate, is appropriate. I think its character, its visual impact, its aesthetic is perfect. And so the buildings, certainly the exterior of the contributing buildings, should be maintained as a priority, and I think that's what's in the master plan to do. I also think it's imperative, as we are proposing to do, that the FMA and the Commonwealth retain title and use leasing rather than sales for the primary outcome procedurally. I also think that, particularly the photograph that was on the 50-year model is of the parade ground in Building 5. And to me, what happens in Building 5 in the future is among, if not the most important thing that will contribute to the visitor impact in the future. And so what happens in that building, how it's used, I think is really, really critical. I think there's great opportunities. I know, Mr. Chairman, you have had the idea of engaging universities here in an ongoing continuing education sort of way. I think that's still a very viable thought, because I think we want people to come here as visitors, as participants in the experience, and as residents who wholly embrace the fact that it's here in perpetuity and preserved for that purpose. I do think fundamentally that it's imperative that among the cluster of buildings that we're proposing to be leased, that something that serves overnight visitors is among the highest priorities in my judgment. And whether that is something that somebody's going to bid for remains to be seen, but that's a place where I think a thumb on the scale would be helpful on our part. There are several obvious possible places, buildings, where that would be appropriate, but there may be others that I don't know of. So I wouldn't, other than Building 5 or the Provost Marshal's complex at the head of Ingalls, those two are the most obvious, but there may be others as well. And I would like to ask that staff, Glenn, when we meet in June, I think this map book has been really, really helpful in every respect to give us a perspective. But I'd like to see one map that shows, in addition to these 4 or 5 areas that the RFP focuses on, a map that shows where all the existing leases are for residential or other purposes. Because I know that there are some structures that aren't in either of these 4 areas and aren't currently leased, like the old PX, for example, that there's still a question about. And that's part of this as well. I know you intentionally deferred decisions on the Worry Quarter to the future, and that's fine. But I think it helps all the board to see everything in totality. Just a couple of additional colors on one map with the 4 redevelopment areas would be really helpful. And I'll stop at that.
Very good. Let's hear from this.